Good morning, everybody listening all across the United States and the world. As we found out last week, Paris, France was knocking at the door saying, hey, we're listening to you over in that area on our Facebook and our YouTube Live. Good morning. Glad to have you guys. Southern University, let's get into the athletic side of things before we get rolling into the rest of the show. Southern lands 164 student athletes on the SWAC Commissioner Honor Roll. The Southwestern Athletic Conference has announced its 2024-25 SWAC Commissioners Honor Roll, and Southern University Athletics has continued to excel in the classroom with 164 Jaguars earning a spot on that prestigious list. The SWAC's Commissioners Honor Roll is comprised of student athletes with a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or higher during the fall 2024 and spring 2025 semester. Football saw the most student athletes recognized with 29. Softball followed with 19 student athletes honored, followed by baseball with 16, men's cross country / track and field with 16, volleyball with 16, women's cross country track and field with 15, soccer with 15, men's basketball with 8, women's basketball with 7, bowling with 7, women's tennis with 6, men's tennis with 4, and you're looking at men's and women's golf with 2 total. The full list of honorees can be found on the Southern University athletic page if you want to go check that out. So congratulations to Southern University landing 164 student athletes on the SWAC Commissioners Honor Roll. That is a huge honor for them. And that shows the testament of what these student athletes are doing in the classroom. And I think as well as the administration over in athletics and what they're doing and those coaches to be able to make sure those students are doing what they need to do both on and off the field, the court, the diamond, the track, whatever it is, the bowling lanes, all of those things that those student athletes are over there making sure realizing what they came to school for, and that is to graduate. And, even with looking at that, especially in the age of the transfer portal where, we had that conversation with Coach Dawson Odom of how much are students really taking in consideration of how important it really is with school and grades. So I'm glad to see that they're able to do these things, that they're making it and doing it, and not only doing it to the highest level. At the end of the day, to me, that's what matters when these students are doing it at the highest level. And shout out to the athletic department over there. I know sometimes I can come off a little hard on them and to the school, but at the end of the day, hey, I'm going to talk about the good things too. And to have that many students on that level, considering some years ago when we were looking at some issues, right? And the issues were APR. And now look where we are. The university has completely flipped things around. Athletics has completely flipped things around, and they're doing the necessary things in order to ensure that these student athletes are excelling in and out of the classroom, and I'm glad to see that. All right, let's look at something else happening this week. News has dropped. Of course, last year, there were a lot of complaints about Southern University's homecoming parade leading up to Southern University's homecoming day on campus. Last year, I must say, I've talked to plenty of people. This was one of the biggest homecomings, if not the largest homecoming probably ever. Just the sheer amount of traffic. I was in traffic on campus at about 5:30 that morning trying to get over the hump, coming down Harding Boulevard. I think everybody who was a part of it last year really saw this was a traffic nightmare. Could it have things been done different in terms of how we direct traffic? Of course. But I just think the influx of traffic for the Southern versus Alcorn game last year, I think when you culminate what was on the line on top of two teams at the top of the SWAC West heading into that game, a homecoming environment with a school like Alcorn that is right up the road and has a huge base of alums right here in the Baton Rouge area, it just culminated for a big day. Plus, LSU not having a game in town that day. What happens? It just makes all eyes, the focus was on Southern University and North Baton Rouge. Now, we understand in the past the parade does, one of the unfortunate things about the parade, it does shut down the main route in terms of coming into campus. And while the parade is going on, they try to direct traffic around the back of campus to come in through Swan to alleviate traffic, to still have a traffic flow onto campus while the parade is going on. And in the past, it has been bright and early on a Saturday morning. As soon as the parade is over, they clean things up. Then traffic is opened up, and then we start to let the flow of traffic back onto campus. Well, because of the issues of last year and just the traffic nightmares of people sitting in traffic 2, 3, 4 hours. Now, a lot of this I have to say, as much as we can blame on traffic controlling, a lot of folks do understand what you're dealing with when it's a Southern University homecoming. A lot of people procrastinate. You just think you're going to show up late and pull up. It's just a lot that can be prevented. But because we realize a lot of people don't think that way and they just, hey, let's just go jump in traffic. I learned my lesson one year when I first moved here as a student. In my first year when I moved away from North Baton Rouge to another side of town and then tried to get over there, I sat in traffic for 2 hours and didn't make it anywhere past the library on Scenic Highway. As I watched everybody just walk by. Eventually we said, forget it. We paid a guy some money, parked in his yard, and we got out and walked. I learned my lesson. That's all it took. One time, I'm good. A lot of people don't learn their lesson. A lot of people just still feel it's going to work for me because it's me. And we know how people bob and weave and out of traffic, whatever the case may be. But it was a traffic nightmare with people waiting hours to get onto campus. Some people never even made it. They turned around and left. And because of that, the complaint started to roll in, and Southern University said, all right, let us know your thoughts. Well, they've taken into consideration, and this year they have moved the Southern University Homecoming Parade. It would now start the week before. And when I say week before, it's that Sunday. Of course, the parade will be on that Sunday, October 12th, 2025 at 1 p.m. And homecoming will be further down the line. You guys agree with that? Are you okay with that? Let me know in the comments. That's what I want to know. Now, me personally, hey, to each his own. You had to come up with a solution. I get it. It is a problem. It became a problem. The actual homecoming date is going to be October the 18th against Prairie View. But the parade will be now October the 12th, which is a Sunday at 1 p.m. Now, me personally, I would have liked to see the parade maybe that Friday, the day before the actual homecoming festivities. I'm not much of a fan of having a homecoming parade when our alums are not able to be a part of the homecoming parade. That's kind of where I'm at with it, but I do understand it gives the community a better opportunity. I'm more of a fan, let's have the parade if the community can be a part of it, and I want the community to be a part of it, but most importantly, the alums that come into town who bring their kids, who bring the family, and everybody who wants to be a part of what's going on. Now, I would have been a fan of if the parade was on Friday, right? We could do the parade early on Friday morning, midday Friday, 11, 12, take it down, scenic, whatever else, and anybody that's still coming onto traffic, you come around the backside. I would have been fine with that. But I'm not. That Sunday, a whole week in advance, I'm just not much of a fan of it. And the reason I'm not a fan of it because it is homecoming. It's for the alums. And when I say for the alums, it's an opportunity for everybody to be able to enjoy it. Yes, you want to alleviate traffic. You want to push things back. You want to give opportunities. Why? We can do it on Friday. You can still bring traffic around the backside on Swan Street. We can still do our thing and create that atmosphere on campus while it's leading into the main part of homecoming, which is that Saturday. But I'm not going to make it a big deal. Change had to occur, and the change did occur. I'm just not a fan myself personally of Sunday, and you got a whole week leading into Saturday. I would be fine with Friday. I know you may not be able to get all the high school bands to participate because you got games going on that night, Friday nights, right? But if you do it early on Friday and you have your local bands, they're going to make it to their games that night. We can do a 10, 11 o'clock parade on a Friday coming down Swan Street. Coming down Scenic Highway, Harding. That's just my thoughts on it now. Either way it goes, we got to make it work. I understand. In the past, I've been okay with it being on Saturday. I know to get on campus early. Everybody else, hey, I just know I've been to enough homecomings to understand how to get there and how to maintain order without putting myself in traffic. Now, that's me. I learned my lesson. But I would like to see it on Friday. It is what it is. I think Friday you could do it midday. It create that excitement within the neighborhood, within the community, still with on campus. Shut it down, clean it up. Everybody comes onto campus. We get things rocking and rolling. Then Saturday, hey, it is what it is. But the Sunday before, it just doesn't work for me for the Sunday before. And that's me personally. I can't help it, but that's just me personally. I just think that takes away from the opportunity for alums who do bring family and the kids and the younger people in the community who will be coming into Baton Rouge and want to be a part of the homecoming festivities. I think that just takes away for the opportunity for them to be involved because that's the whole point. It's homecoming. It's just not a parade. It's the homecoming parade. What is homecoming? People coming home to be a part. It's not a Baton Rouge parade, which that's what it would be now Sunday. It's going to be a Southern University homecoming parade, but it's basically a Baton Rouge parade. But we'll talk more about that. You guys let me know in the comment section what you guys think.